What's your name?
I'm Tom. I was a vegan for 14 months, and I found your channel actually through Vegetable Police. He made like 3 videos making fun of you. There was like the first one. I actually don't remember exactly what happened, but I went and checked out one of your videos, and then I went and I was like, this guy's insane. He's just eating raw meat, and I didn't really listen to the video much after a few minutes, and then a few months down the line, Vegetable Police made another video and about Svedia, and he made fun of you again. So I went to your channel again and then watched the video, and you were talking about something like metaphysical, some interesting, something like New World Order or something, and then I got a little bit into that with John Rose, and then I just started watching more and more, and then that's how I found your channel and started switching to meat from vegan.
Okay, when was this? And where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania, like mid-state, and when I went vegan 14 months ago, well, I watched your videos probably about 4 months ago, but I guess I'll start from the beginning and then
Sure.
do the full story. So basically, I was struggling with health quite a bit. I found online a video that Marcus Rothkranz did with Dr. Noon Amin Ra. He's a one meal guy, 1 meal a day. He ate like supposedly 1,800 calories, 1 meal a day, and he's like super jacked bodybuilder guy. Or not bodybuilding, but he looked like bodybuilding. He was so lean and cut, and he talked like a monk, like super ultra slow. Everything, like he meditated and stuff. So I saw that interview, and then I checked out his website, and then I like got his books, his PDFs and stuff, and it showed how to do intermittent fasting, 23 hours a day, and then eating in a one hour window period. And of course, in his book, he said that all animal products have cholesterol and stuff, and that strokes are such a endemic or epidemic on our society nowadays, especially in the black community. This guy's black, so he's especially concerned about that. But so for some reason, it just struck me really. I was like, oh, I want to try this. It makes sense because I tried intermittent fasting before, but with a junk diet like fudge rounds and milk. So yeah, I jumped right into it for about a month, no, 2 months. And I would exercise every day in the morning, cardio for about 20 minutes. And then in the evening, I would lift weights every day. So I was going to the gym 14 times a week and doing 1 meal a day, mostly rice, beans, peanut butter sandwiches, and soy milk. And then some like special soy supplement build. So like you put all these amino acids, you put in a multivitamin and into soy milk, and you like blend that up. And that's your elixir, he calls it. And you drink that right in the beginning of when you break the fast. So like after the 23 hours, after you work out, you just go straight home and then drink that and then prepare the rest of your meal. And then after about a month of that, my knees started getting really bad. Like I couldn't run anymore in the mornings like I was doing. So then I kind of just started falling off the program because I couldn't run, and then so that breaks the cardio part of it. Like his regimen wasn't just a vegan diet. It was all of it. Like the exercising in the morning, exercising at night, doing the 23 hours. So then I found Vegetable Police, and I watched his channel for I guess 12 months now, even longer, 13 now, and he was funny. Like I just liked his videos, and then he was messing around with different diets too, and he had tried the Noon Almond Raw. That's probably how I found him in the first place, actually. And then, let me think. Oh, and then in Vegetable Police's channel, he mentioned John Rose, and I checked out John Rose's channel, and he was into juicing and raw vegan, and I started slowly building up to like 50% raw vegan, and then I kept trying to switch back to the 1 meal a day and with raw vegan. and I couldn't do it because it's just too much water sitting in your stomach and fiber. Like, you can eat maybe 1,200 calories of fruit, and you feel like you're gonna explode. And you have a ladybug on me, that's why I'm distracted. But so eating at 1,200 calories, I was losing weight fast. Like, I started the program when I went vegan, probably about 155 pounds. And doing the 1 meal a day, I dropped down to about 140 pounds. And then doing like 50% raw vegan and 50% like some junk food, some like peanut butter sandwiches, lots of starches. I actually got my weight back up to 147 pounds and was lifting decently with still a lot of back pain and hip pain and knee pain. So I was mostly just doing upper body work. And then I got deeper into the raw vegan with John Rose. I watched every episode, or every video he has. He did like at least 300 videos, and I watched all of them twice. And some of them were like half an hour long, so I was buried into the raw vegan message.
Wow.
I guess I also should mention like maybe 2 weeks after I found the non raw guy, I was only doing it for the health, but then I read Animal Liberation, I forget what the author's name is now, and another book about the ethics in the factory farming. And that's what solidified, so I was like doing it for the health and the ethics.
Yeah.
But then every time I would like binge eat and stuff, what I would do is I wouldn't eat animal products, I would just eat junk vegan food. So like Oreos, hummus. Hummus isn't junk food for some vegans, but for me, I was trying to be raw vegan, so like hummus was junk food.
Sure.
And then I kept getting closer and closer to 100%, like up to 70% maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and then up to like 90% maybe a month. Yeah, a month ago is when I quit veganism in total and started eating the raw meat, but my health problems were starting to get pretty bad by the end. Like, I was down to 132 pounds, and before I lost, when I was 155 pounds, I was actually 165. And I had a lot of muscle, and now I'm very skinny. I'm starting to get it back pretty quick though with the raw meat. But so yeah, then 3 months ago, this is back to where we started, where I found Saver's videos, and I just started watching all the videos. Like, I just started doing the same thing I did with John Rose, watching all the videos. And then, even though I was still vegan at that time, this was like 1 month or 2 months before I stopped eating vegan. And then I found a forum online called rawpaleodiet.com. And there are people on there eating the same way. Some of them don't drink milk, but I like milk, so I drink it. But I just started browsing that while I was at work, and then I found the IRC channel, and then I started talking to other people in real life, not real life, but real time, about the raw paleo diet. And then I asked them what I should get first, and they said a raw steak, but I was too nervous to try that. So I did my research and found like some good sources, like grass-fed, pasture-fed, not factory farmed animals. And then I found goat milk was the first thing I tried. And I tried 1 cup of goat milk, and it tasted very good. I always loved milk before I went raw vegan. But then, what did I think? So I waited 30 minutes after I drank it to see if I would be lactose intolerant or anything. And I felt great. So I was like, okay, and then I just drank the rest of the 3 cups right there. And I still felt good. I was like, wow, I'm impressed. And then the next day I woke up and I felt pretty good, like more energy than I had been having. And then that night I got more of the goat milk, and then I got raw hamburger, or ground beef, and then butter. And I had a pound of raw beef, I just jumped right into it that night, and then I felt super good the next day. And that night too, I was like, when it sat in my stomach, I thought it'd be really heavy and wouldn't digest well, but I took my time eating it, and it just felt awesome. Like,
Yeah.
got all my energy back. But I guess I could go into all the health problems I was having.
Yeah.
So So the main reason I went vegan in the first place was just because I was having overall a lot of digestive issues. My stomach was always puffy and bloaty, even though I was never fat. I had to like suck in my stomach all the time because it was embarrassing to have like, you know how like babies have like their bellies is very round out? That's how mine was, and it was just embarrassing and didn't look good. Even with abs, like it just looks like you're this pregnant body.
Right.
But then, as I was saying, I started getting knee problems, back problems, and just overall joint pains. And then my energy levels were going down steadily. So I went from doing those 14 days at the gym a week to down to twice a week. And actually almost 0 days a week at the very end, but twice was what I tried to maintain with. And I would do 15 sets each day, which is not much at all. And I even started doing calisthenics instead of lifting because it was easy. Since I got so light, I could do pull-ups and I could do push-ups and I could do dips like no problem. Although I still couldn't do squats and running because my right hip was starting to get impinged and it would like click every time I did a squat or every time I ran. So it was very depressing. Like I thought I was becoming super ultra healthy with the John Rose and Dr. Robert Morse protocols, but I was like, I just kept pushing myself, like thinking, oh, I'll get skinny and then at a certain point I'll start going up in weight and then I'll become super healthy. And that's what everyone on the Facebook group for Dr. Robert Morse has, but my health problems just kept getting worse and worse. And some things did get better at first, like my digestion was much better with the raw foods. My mental clarity was better at first, although now I'm a little slow. But I felt energetic in terms of like, when I look at animals and humans, I feel more connected to them with the raw foods. But then I started running low on energy fast, and with the Robert Morse thing, like people were just telling me, oh, it's okay, it's just detox symptoms and stuff like that. You push through, and then my teeth started to get really bad. Like I looked at my teeth a few days ago, and even before then too, when I was raw vegan, and like I have 2 cavities on my back back bottom teeth, and then some more up front too. And it was like I had bad teeth growing up, but this really exacerbated it. The acid from the fruits. You can't always get ripe fruits, but you don't want to fast and like only eat 1,000 calories a day, so you just eat unripe fruits anyway, and it destroys your teeth. Right. Some people have good teeth naturally and good parathyroid glands, and they don't have much of a problem. But I was already really weak, so my fingernails are all ridged up and doesn't look good. And luckily my hair never thinned, but it probably would have been the next step. So, and other health problems, the digestion, the teeth, the joint pains, the no energy, and there's definitely another one, but I can't think of it right now. So, and just losing so much muscle. Like I dropped 30 pounds.
Okay.
And my physique looked so bad. I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, who is this? Like what? I used to be so strong looking and healthy, and then my lines in my face started getting deeper, and my wife and her parents were like, you look like a skeleton, are you sure you're gonna keep getting healthier? And I was like, yeah, in a year I'll be perfect health. But then that was like 6 months before that, and then I was still going downhill, and I was like, well, maybe. And my lines in my face kept getting deeper as I lost weight, and it was just like, I started realizing I was deluding myself. And then that was when I found your videos, and I just kept it in the back of my mind, kept researching it, because I want perfect health, and I want to feel how humans are supposed to feel. And I knew that raw food is definitely the answer, because no other animal cooks their food, and like, when you cook it, you destroy it, you create AGEs, acrylamides, all the cancer causing. I mean, if you look around today, like 80% of people are overweight, sick looking, cancer ridden, like it's obvious that what we're doing now isn't working. So the raw food was the answer. And I guess for me to get over the ethical point of being like for the animals, I just thought like, is it my health that matters, or is it these animals? And also, I can still not contribute to factory farming if I just buy from my local farmers, which I've made a few videos, and in those videos I showed my farmer market haul, and so I've been only buying local grass-fed beef and milk and dairy products.
Yeah.
The honey, I actually don't know the sourcing too much, but I've been liking the honey a lot, so. And I realized that you can eat animals without contributing to the factory farming, like holocaust that all vegans are against. And I'm sure tons of vegans will criticize me saying not a real vegan, but like my health is more important than the animals, like that I've never seen before, that like I'm not connected to at all. And if I'm not healthy, like my family around me, they start being depressed, not feeling good. And it just, if everyone's depressed like that, it just creates a society where everyone's depressed and they just fill themselves up with junk food to feel in the short term better. Go home from your 9 to 5 job and then you eat a hamburger and McDonald's, which is the main contributor to the factory farming. And then, like, if we can make healthy humans first, then as a society we realize, oh wait, we were sick and we were making these animals sick. Like, we can make such a better society if we're all healthy. Mm-hmm. But vegans think of the animals first and then the humans, so they don't see the logical connection there. So.
What about supplements?
Oh yeah, supplements. When I was on the Noon Almond Raw diet, the 1 meal a day, his diet is like based on supplements. So like, you take a multi-mineral, you take powdered amino acids and put them into a soy milk, and sometimes even soy protein also, which they've done studies on soy protein and it's worse than whey protein in terms of the IGF, like how much inflammation it causes and growth factors. And that's the thing that causes aging. So like a lot of his things in his book is all about longevity and living to like 150, 200 years. But then his diet had lots of things still that induce aging, like the IGF from the soy. So.
Right.
And then, so I was taking a shit ton of supplements then. And even like cocoa powder, I was like mixing all sorts of interesting stuff in. And then once I got off of that and went to more raw vegan, I started taking, the only thing I knew the supplements were bad at that point, but I was nervous because even John Rose takes vitamin B12 supplements like maybe every 3 or 4 years, just to, because he said he was getting symptoms, the nerve damage that can be caused by lack of B12.
Yeah.
And he was getting symptoms of it, so he would take the B12 supplements under the tongue. So I never injected myself with B12, but I did take them for a little bit. But then I realized like, if raw vegan is the answer, then I shouldn't eat any supplements. And I was still losing weight and all the stuff down through, so that was when it pretty much struck me in the head, like, I gotta find something else to supplement my diet that's not a supplement, like some real food that can give me the nutrients that I need. And I always tracked everything on chronometer, and like, my zinc levels were always extremely low. I was never getting any chromium, like, and I never even thought that was bad. I was like, oh, you don't need chromium. And I was like, I don't know, I just kind of, you don't need it. And then my zinc was always like 30% of what I needed. And as guys, like, we needed more zinc to make, for bodybuilding or just any energy, sexual energy. Like, oh, that's another, that was another health issue of my libido. Like, I could get it up like once a month.
Okay.
Like, it was terrible. My wife, she noticed it too, and she's like, are you still the same person you were a year ago? Like, but, so yeah, all these, especially minerals, like you can get, actually no, the B vitamins are real low in the vegan diet too. Like, most of the time I wouldn't get enough niacin and not enough B12 obviously there's none. B6 I think was lacking.
Right.
And then B3, sometimes I would get enough, but in these plant forms, that's just like the raw amount of stuff that's there. It doesn't contribute to how much your body actually utilizes. So I'm sure everything pretty much was low, except manganese. I was getting like, and copper, I was getting like 400 times the RDA. So I was probably getting toxicity on top of deficiencies in different areas. So like everything going wrong possible. And then that's when I stopped supplementing after I experimented with the B12 a little bit. And then pretty soon after that, that's when I found your channel, and then yeah, that's when I started eating raw meat. So
Yeah. Did you have any friends and such?
oh yeah, I never had any real life friends that were doing it, and even my family members would sometimes like poke fun at me. But I did have, I'm a personal trainer, so like I had clients at the time, and one client, she had cancer and stuff, and I suggested a vegan diet on her, like raw vegan. But she was very meat and potatoes, like she didn't want to change, and eventually we went our separate ways after like some visits and stuff. But yeah, it was, I never really had any friends that were vegan. I probably influenced my brother, and he might turn vegan in the future. Hopefully not, but he's pretty into like injustices and stuff, so. And my family, I kept trying to get them to eat more plants. I never suggested veganism to them, but like more fruits and more vegetables, and less bread and less processed shit. And then, yeah, I only met one guy in real life that was vegan, and he did it for the health too. Like he didn't care about the animals at all. But I only met him for like a few weeks, so.
Right.
I was pretty isolated. And then I just joined Facebook groups and kept watching, keeping my echo chamber with the YouTube videos, like Vegetable Police, John Rose, and Dr. Robert Morris, just watching their videos all day. And I even started studying under Robert Morris, like his programs he has, and studying iridology, trying to help people. Like I was gonna start becoming what he does and like telling people this too. Oh, with Dr. Robert Morris. So I'm sure some of you guys who are vegan, you were into Dr. Robert Morris. If you think about it, like Dr. Robert Morris, he has all these herbs and it always says fruit only. But in the glandulars he has, they're like capsules, or not, they're tinctures with organ meats from animals in an alcoholic solution, so you can digest it and dissolves it right away and you assimilate it really easily. Like even Robert Morris knows that full vegan is not the answer when you're trying to heal these organs. Like, yeah, the fruits might help because you're cleansing and you're getting rid of all the bad stuff, but like, then you're supplementing it basically with medicine. And it's basically from traditional Chinese medicine where you would eat the organs. And that's what he did, like in the tincture form.
Right.
And of course, it's just a little tincture, so like, you're just getting a little bit. Where you could just eat an organ, like a liver, and get so much of it at one time. And you just become healthier so much faster. Like my first time trying liver, I felt really good the day after. And yesterday I had it and it was really good, so.
But he couldn't sell it, that's why.
Yeah, he wanted to stay on the vegan message, so like the glandulars, it's not an organ, it's like a medicine, or a tincture, it's like. Yeah. So, and I remember even some of his fans were like, these aren't vegan, take them off. And he like made a video where he said, if you guys really want them taken off, I might take off some of them with the glandulars, but from what I saw, he kept them on. So I think he was just trying to like not have a public like his vegan subgroup outraging at him. So
yeah.
So if you guys think about like these animal organs, that's what people eat as medicine, and like it really does heal your own organs. I mean, it makes sense. Like you eat it. And if you cook it, you're going to destroy half of the nutrients at least. So why cook it when you can just eat it raw? I guess that's another thing. Getting over my fear of eating raw meat. Like when I was into John Rose, and especially John Rose, like the evolution, thinking about the humans becoming, like evolving from chimpanzees up to humans, and now he always made the argument that like, we would never eat raw meat. We would never, maybe pick up a shellfish every once in a while. But then after watching your videos, like in the paleo form, I started doing some research myself, and like humans have been cooking even since 500,000 years ago. And there's evidence that we like broke open the bone marrow with rocks and stuff from 500,000 years ago. So the stuff that the vegans promote is like, we haven't been eating meat until like 200,000 years ago, 100,000, 60,000 years ago in some cases. And it's like, no, we've had plenty of time to evolve our stomachs to be able to digest meat. Like, even there was a really good video on Milk Jar's channel, or twin brother Milk Jar's channel.
Right.
He was going into the different stomach lengths of the different apes, the different monkeys, and like humans, our pH in our stomach is way more acidic than the other apes, and also our small intestine is way longer, and our colon is much shorter. So we're not made to digest all this fiber that the other monkeys eat. Like you need a very large colon or large intestine to be able to ferment the fiber, and it turns into fat, which I learned that from your videos. I was like, and I did Natasha, I forget her name. Campbell's videos. Like, it makes sense. Like almost every species on the planet eats a ketogenic diet. It's just they have the bacteria transform it for them. And then that's when I was like, wait, that means the fruit then, that's just aging us with the sugar. Like, and then because our stomachs, our large intestines are too small to ferment. And when it does, you're uncomfortable all day, like getting gas and like it's bloated and stuff. So, and our stomachs, when you look at the pictures of like a great ape to it and a chimpanzee and then humans, we have like flat, small stomachs. These gorillas have like gigantic, wide stomachs holding all of these organs. So like, and it makes sense that we wouldn't be doing that. And it's, after trying the raw meat, it actually tasted amazing. Like, if you guys watch one of my first videos, I tried like the raw short ribs. It actually tastes really good. Like, especially if you were a person before you went vegan, or if you're a vegan watching this, or if not, and you liked your meat undercooked, like medium rare, you'll love raw meat, like no doubt about it. It might take a teeny bit of time to get used to, but for me, I enjoyed it right away. Like, it's the savory flavor and the fat. Like, it was exactly what I was craving when I was vegan, but I just didn't know it at the time. I was just like craving like cheese pizza and stuff, like junk food. But so yeah, that's.
What about the future of veganism?
I think.
Or who's pushing it, or what's behind it?
I think there's like two phases to this, where it's like there's the junk food, like grains veganism that's being pushed by the world governments, where like even the main base of their food pyramid is like grains. And if you look at what America and like China and other countries eat, they eat mostly grains and rice. So they're just trying to make people have a cheap food that they can mass produce, and even the GMOs can be easily put into these grains, because that's what all the research on GMOs has been done. So it's just very easy to control the population if you have them all eating the same food. And also, this food's not healthy for us. It like dumbs you down. I think people who only eat bread, they get schizophrenia, and it's like called the bread man's disease.
Right.
Or bread disease, something like that.
Bread madness.
Yeah, bread madness, yeah. And when you think about it, in the past, like only poor people ate bread, just like in your videos you said. And like, I remember watching cartoons as a kid, like the kings would get, like the Lord of the Ring movies too. Like they get these wild deer, like the kings get deer and like grapes and like nice fresh food, like real food, and then the poor like peasants on the ground, like in the mud, trying to do stuff, they basically get whatever scraps of bread they can eat and like water, and then sometimes they might catch a rat or eat some vegetables or potatoes or something, but like the slaves are what eat grains, and they know that, the people in the higher up. But unfortunately, I think veganism is going to keep growing as a movement, at least for 20 years, because it's exciting. Like, it is, you feel like you're helping society, like you're helping the animals, you're doing the healthier thing with the McVegan burger and the soy products, but then so many people have been reverting back from veganism now, and all these vegans attack the people who had health problems on veganism and say you didn't do it right. But like, even the ones that do it right are having problems. And if you look at some of the gurus, like Dan the Man, I think his name's Life Regenerator, all these people, they're super skinny and like emaciated. And some of the normal, like ethical vegans even recognize that about the raw vegans, that they get way too skinny and it's not right. But then they're eating like Oreos and grains and junk food, so it will keep getting more and more people return from veganism back to a meat some meat diet at least. Some maybe raw paleo like us, but I think for a long time veganism is going to keep growing, and probably at least 20 years. All these countries are getting more. It's as I said, exciting, and like the social media and the recipe books that you see everywhere for veganism, and it's fun. Like so.
Do you think it's just a trend or is somebody behind it?
To me, it actually seems mostly just like a trend. Maybe there could be something behind it, but the way I see it is just like, well, actually, it could be pushed generally, especially with the food pyramids and the government information and like nutrition, scientific studies and stuff. They only study the bad effects of meat, but it's only cooked meat that they study, and it's not just cooked meat. It's cooked meats with starches, which are so you're getting like two of the most cancerogenic forming foods, and then they say, oh, you're getting stomach cancer because you're eating burgers. Like, yeah, you're eating overcooked burgers that have black char on them. And then the grains, which stick to all the inside of your walls. Like, think about it. If you guys eat like a loaf of bread, it takes you 3 or 4 days to poop that out. So that's stuck on the inside of your colon for that long. And even when you poop, like, you can't wipe it off well. And like, you have to wipe like 50 times. That's because it's stuck on the inside of your wall too. And when it's sitting there rotting and oxidizing, that's causing the cancer. Like, so it might not even be the meat. It might just be the bread that's attached to the meat that we all eat. Like, we eat carnivore diet is like 30% meat at most. So.
Right.
And then trends, it's just getting trendier. Like, so many. It's like an explosion almost. Even for me, like, I felt like I got on a little early, and then it started exploding in the UK and Israel and stuff, really heavily. Like the subreddit for veganism, I think it went up 40,000 subscribers from like 100,000 to 140,000 in 1 year, from 2017 to 2018. So
the food pyramid, do you think that they are pushing it on purpose, or do they really believe that it's healthy?
I actually believe that maybe there's a few people that know it's not healthy, but most of the scientists and doctors really believe it's healthy. Like,
right.
They've seen the studies, and all they care about are the studies. Like, but they don't look at what the study says, and they don't actually read it. They just read other people's like a summary of it. Like, if you actually go into some of these studies, like the China study and stuff, or the Adventists, the Seventh-day Adventist study, like when you go into it, it actually says the pescatarians, the ones that ate fish and then dairy products and then vegetarian, so like no red meat and stuff, those guys were the ones living the longest with the best health outcomes. And the vegans were actually only barely, they were lower than vegetarians, and they were lower than the pescatarians. And vegan was only better than the general population. But when you think about like these people, they also have a nice community, they have a nice warm area, and so there's more factors to help.
No alcohol, no smoking.
Yeah, no alcohol, no smoking. So they're already healthier people to begin with, and then it just, yeah.
But if the government is pushing the pyramid, do you also believe that they believe it's healthy?
Because I think most government officials are just pawns. So like health politicians, and also at the high levels of the nutrition organizations, maybe, or not high, but the medium. So like the scientists, and then the ones that are distributing it to the schools, they don't know any better.
Right.
But then maybe, like when you think about the AMA and all these connections that these companies have to growing grains and stuff, like, and Monsanto, they need their crops, like, they're being funded by Monsanto, these government organizations that are for your health, public health organizations. And not just Monsanto, but all the grain companies, and even dairy. But when you look at the dairy industry, they feed their cows tons of soy and grain, so like, it's a double, everything's being fed soy and grain. They need it, and it's even being subsidized, so like, you get super cheap grains, like, no problem. And so all the farmers are even incentivized to make corn, wheat, and soy. That's what we grow in America. And when it's subsidized that much, it means only the big farmers can start growing, like, economically, competitively. So like, only these farmers that have these huge gigantic lands needing to spray tons of pesticides on it that is supplied by Monsanto. So like, yeah, I think it's definitely something going on where they're just trying to create a system that is very mechanical and it just dumbs us down slowly, and we get to the point where we're just eating garbage, and it's so expensive to buy the good food, like fresh fruits and vegetables, and not even really vegetables because we don't digest them well, but fresh fruits and then meat. Like, think about the two most expensive things, like meat and fruit. Especially if you want organic, like you can pay $12 for a steak, or fruit like $6 a pound. Like, it's so hard to be healthy now. So yeah, there's definitely something to it.
Anything else you want to add, or anything you want to say to vegans?
So you vegans out there, if you really like, if you're having health problems, try just a little bit of meat or anything, like whatever you think you could stomach. If you don't want to kill an animal at all, just try raw eggs or raw milk. Like, in some states it's really hard to get raw milk, so try to get organic, free range chickens. And make sure, even get them on a small farm, that's the best. You can see them running around, and then get their eggs, and just try and see how you feel the next few days. Eat like 3 eggs one day, and then 3, and you'll slowly, I mean, not even slowly, for me it was like instant. Your energy levels up. Like, I was going to the gym way more. It's such an incredible transformation. Like, even just within 1 week I was going to the gym 7 times a week instead of 2 like I was before. And doing like 130 sets a week instead of 30. So
Right.
like, it helped me so much. If anyone wants to try it and they're feeling the same things I did, like, just try it. You can go back to being vegan after if it doesn't work for you, but the raw meat's not gonna kill you. I've been doing it a month now. No trichinosis, no E. coli, no parasites or any of that. Like, it is scary, but it's because you've been brainwashed with it your whole life. So just think about how you started veganism. You tried it little bit by little bit, and you just tried it even though you knew it was weird, it wasn't what you were used to. And think about this, traditional dishes all over the world with raw meat, like sushi, stark tartare. In Germany they eat like raw hamburger on bread. I don't know what it's called, but like all these countries used to have raw dishes, and it was only recently in the last 50 years that everyone started pushing for no raw animal products. So just try it. Like, trust me, you guys will like it.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else? Is that it?
And thanks for making the videos, like you, Milk Jar, even Vegetable Police. Thanks, Vegetable Police, like, for making these videos, making fun of you, because I wouldn't have found it otherwise. So yeah, thanks. Cool.
Okay, thank you, and thanks for watching.
See you guys. Go vegan, go die.